Alright guys, today's goal, the learner will understand how to evaluate trigonometric functions of any angle. Alright, so we know sine, cosine, tangent, and their reciprocals, cosecant, secant, cotangent. Okay? Sine is the y value divided by the radius. Cosine is the x value divided by the radius. Here, let's zoom in. Tangent, y value divided by x. X cannot equal 0. Obviously, radiuses are never 0 because they wouldn't exist. These values can't equal 0 because we can't divide by 0. But here's the thing. They're still just inverses of each other. It's just finding them on the circle. So let's take a look at these first three problems here. Evaluate the 6 trig functions. So I have the point 3, negative 3. So the first thing I have to do, that means this was 3, this was negative 3. I need to find r. But again, right here, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So 3 squared plus negative 3 squared equals r squared. So r squared equals 18. Square root that. Radius equals 3 square root 2. So now I need to find sine, cosine, tangent. We'll start with those three. So sine is the y value divided by the radius. That equals negative 1 over the square root of 2, which is negative square root 2 over 2. Cosine is the x value over the radius, which is 1 over root 2, so this is positive square root 2 over 2. Tangent is the y value over the x value. So negative 3 over 3, negative 1. Now we don't even need the picture anymore, because now what we need is cosecant. Negative square root 2, because it's the reciprocal of this. Secant. The reciprocal of 1 over the square root of 2, square root of 2. Cotangent. Reciprocal negative 1, negative 1. Okay? So let's try the next one here. Eight and 15. So for this one I got the radius is 17. By following this formula. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. So the sine 15 over 17. Cosine negative 8 over 17. Tangent negative 15 over 8, because it's y over x, but it's negative. And then cosecant 17 over 15. Secant negative 17 over 8. cotangent, negative 8 over 15. So there we go. So let's look at the third. Well, you guys figure it out. I'll tell you what the radius is, though. So we'll double check our radius. 5 squared plus 12 squared is 169. So the radius here is 13. So figure out all of them for this one. Bring it in completed, okay? All right, unit circle. Big thing here. Huge unit circle. Radius equals 1. So for this, for the unit circle, the sine value is the y, the cosine is the x. Okay? And tangent is still y over x. Okay? So it says use the unit circle to evaluate the 6 trigonometric functions of theta equals 180. So we're looking right here. We start here. Angle all the way around, so 180 degrees. The sine value, 0. Cosine value, negative 1. Tangent, 0 divided by negative 1, so it's 0. Secant would be negative 1 over negative, so secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so negative 1 still. The cosecant, well, the reciprocal of 0 is 1 over 0, which is undefined. So cotangent, undefined. Okay? Alright, so there we go. Now guys, I'm just going to warn you right now at this point. At some point you are going to have to memorize all of this, and you will also need to know that these values, just like it's saying up here, is the cosine of theta comma sine of theta, so x comma y. Okay. So now we not only need to be able to calculate things, but we need to look at these and then draw them. So it says sketch an angle, then find its reference angle. What's the reference angle? Well, the reference angle for theta is the acute angle formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. The relationship between theta and theta prime, the reference angle, is shown below for non-quadrantal angles such that it's between 90 and 360. Okay, so if I draw this first one, negative 260 degrees. You always start here. Well, I go negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, but I got to back out because I only wanted 260. So there's the negative 260. Find its reference angle. So it wants to know, what is that angle? Well, there's 90 degrees in there. I'm 10 short, so, well, it's 80 degrees. That's what you need to find. Because you do 260 minus 180. And you get 80, okay? So negative 7 pi over 9. Okay, so what I think about when I see these, I think this way. Here's where I'm starting, and there'd be 0. Well, this is 1 pi. But couldn't you say that's 9 pi over 9? And then this would be 4.5 pi over 9, because that's pi over 2. So it's somewhere in the middle there. And it's going the negative direction. It's about right there. And you always have to draw that to let me know what direction you moved. Okay. So see how we're looking for this space right here. So I do 9 pi, or sorry, not 9 pi. Yeah. 9 pi over 9 minus 7 pi over 9, because that's how much I moved. So that reference angle, 2 pi over 9. Okay. And then 15 pi over 4. Okay, so just like these here, I made them by the denominator, so I'm going to say that's 0. That's 2 pi over 4. 4 pi over 4. 6 pi over 4. So now I can look. I have, or another way, so that's how I'd start to label. Now watch. I change this 15 over 4 to a mixed number. 3 and 3/4. So that means I need to move pi. So I go 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and then I have 3/4 of a pi left. So there's 2/4, one more. Now watch what I do here. See how I drew it around, letting you know it went all the way around? Now it's looking for this. Well, I have to go around twice, so I'm looking at 4 pi, 2 circles. Okay, so if I did 4 pi minus 15 over 4 pi, it would equal pi over 4. So my reference angle is pi over 4. Okay. You give the reference angle in whatever unit. See, this was in degrees, I answered in degrees. This was in radians, so I answered in radians. Okay? Alright. Evaluate the following without a calculator. So get out the unit circle and find it. So I'm looking for cosine of negative 210. So it'd be like right here. And I know that's a 30-degree angle, so it's negative square root 3 over 2. 19 pi over 6. Well, I change it to 3 and 1/6 pi. So I'm really looking at just the pi over 6 past 3 pi. So there's 2 pi, 3 pi, boom, pi over 6. So that is also negative square root 3 over 2. Okay, we have to get in the habit of just maneuvering around the unit circle and memorizing things, okay? See you guys tomorrow.